Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the playbook of a company that doesn't just play in different markets, it wages multi-front wars. We're talking about Reliance Industries, of course. And by the end of this, you are going to understand their blueprint for absolute dominance. So let's just start with one simple question that's going to frame this whole discussion. Who is Reliance's biggest competitor? Is it another massive energy company, a huge telecom player, or maybe a retail giant? Well, the answer is kind of shocking and surprisingly simple. It's almost everyone. And believe me, that is not an exaggeration. If you can wrap your head around that one idea, you're on your way to cracking their entire strategy. So that leads us right into our first big idea here. One giant, many fronts. See, to really get what Reliance is all about, you have to look at the battlefield the way they do, from a totally unique, multi-front perspective. I mean, just think about it for a second. We're talking about the energy that powers entire industries, the phone network in your pocket, the stores you shop at, and even the shows you stream at night. Reliance is actively fighting on all of these fronts. At the same time, it is a truly mind-boggling set of battlegrounds. Now, here's where it gets really clever. It's all built around this powerful idea of being a multi-front competitor. And this isn't just about being big for the sake of being big. No, it's a strategy. It's about using your incredible strength in one area to go and attack your rivals in a completely different sector. But wait, where does all the money come from to fight all these different wars? Well, it all starts with the foundation of the entire empire, the cash engine. And that engine is built on its massive oil-to-chemicals business, or O2C. And when I say massive, I mean it. We're not just talking about a big business here. We are talking about being number one on a global scale. The size is just staggering. Reliance's refinery in Jamnagar isn't just the biggest in India. It is the largest single-location refinery on the entire planet. So how on earth do they pull that off? Well, it's a mix of insane efficiency and some really smart strategic moves. They're a cost leader because they can process cheaper, lower-quality crude oil that other refineries just can't handle. Plus, they're deeply integrated, so they control everything from the crude oil all the way to the final petrochemical products. This thing is literally a machine that prints cash. Okay, so you've got this gigantic, world-leading cash engine. What do you do with all that money? Well, if you're Reliance, you use it to fund brand new conquests in completely different sectors. And the first huge battleground was probably one of the most brutal corporate showdowns we've seen in a long time, the fight for India's telecom market, all kicked off by the launch of Jio. What happened next was a clash of two totally different playbooks. You had Jio coming in with the nearly bottomless pockets from the oil business, and on the other side, you had the established leader, Airtel, with its loyal customers and trusted brand. It was a classic case of an asymmetrical fight. So how did Jio, this newcomer, manage to completely flip the market on its head? The strategy was beautifully simple and absolutely ruthless. They came in offering data at some of the lowest prices in the world, starting a price war they knew nobody else could afford to win. And then, once they had the users, they locked them into a whole ecosystem of apps and services. All right, so with the telecom market basically conquered and hundreds of millions of new users on their platform, Reliance turned its gaze to the next frontier, controlling what India buys. And that's where the retail war began. Now, in this fight, the main rival is a whole different kind of beast, Amazon. But here's the thing, Reliance isn't trying to play Amazon's game. While Amazon is the king of e-commerce in the big cities, Reliance is building something different, an omni-channel empire, with a huge network of physical stores that goes deep into rural India where Amazon can't easily reach. Okay, so we've seen the battles in telecom, we've seen the fight in retail. Now let's pull back the curtain and look at the actual blueprint. This is the secret sauce, the real key to how this whole thing works. And there it is. This right here is the aha moment. It's what we can call the billion-dollar loop that powers this entire machine. It's a really simple three-step cycle. Step 1. Generate unbelievable amounts of cash from the global oil and chemicals business. Step 2. Use that cash to fund insane price wars in new areas, like they did with Jio in telecom. And step 3, take that massive user base you just bought and leverage it to dominate other industries like retail and media. It's a brilliant self-perpetuating cycle of dominance. And that loop has built a fortress that's, well, It's almost impossible to attack. It's so hard to compete with them. I mean, how do you even begin to fight a company that has a 5-star advantage in cost, a 5-star advantage in scale, and a 5-star advantage in its ecosystem all at the same time? Most companies would be thrilled to be elite in just one of those areas. If you look at this from a classic business strategy angle, you can see what the world looks like from inside Reliance's walls. Sure, rivalry within the industry is high, but the most important piece of this puzzle for long-term dominance is the threat of new entrants. It's basically zero. The amount of money and infrastructure you need to even try to copy this playbook is just too massive. So we've seen the strategy, we've seen the strength of this fortress they've built. But what's the end game here? What are the real-world results of this playbook? And why should any of this matter to us? Well, this isn't just business school theory. The Reliance playbook has left a real trail of disruption in its path. Airtel, a really strong company, it survived the telecom war, but it was wounded. Vodafone almost had to pack up and leave India entirely. In retail, a major player, Future Group, just collapsed. And even a global titan like Amazon is finding it incredibly hard to compete against Reliance's grip on both the physical and digital market. And all of this brings us to the single most important idea, the one sentence that really captures the entire philosophy. If you remember one thing from this, remember this. Reliance doesn't compete to win margins. It competes to control markets. That right there is the playbook.